This video is brought to you by SimMotion, your US source for Moza, Simagic, Huesinkveld, and more. Unmatched prices, unmatched support.
It is finally that time of the quarter where I go on my burner Twitter account and check the pulse of the iRacing community. What is the crazy drama going on right now? And guess what? We have some pretty interesting stuff going on that I want to cover. So you guys know how it works. I'll present these drama topics and then sit in the middle on the fence while subliminally trying to tell you guys my actual opinions. The first thing I want to quickly show you guys, you might have seen in my YouTube community posts already, but I got cooked by Reddit. Well, only kinda. Somebody posted a Reddit thread asking, has anyone here done a DJ Yee-J lesson? If so, how did it go? Now, this isn't a fake account by me. I did not bot this. I wasn't trying to impression farm or bot for business or something like that. But one of my students, Thomas, who I've done 4 coaching sessions with, he basically said that I helped him get to 4K I rating, and it was really nice. And then someone asked, what was your rating prior to the first coaching session? And then somebody responded, 5,000. That actually made me laugh out loud in the middle of my kitchen when I read that. So I just thought that was funny if you haven't seen it in my community post. Really, the biggest story of the week comes from the eNASCAR Coca-Cola series, but not from the winner of the race or some controversial battle for the win or something like that. It comes from the penalty report after the race, where Blake McCandless, who's probably one of the most popular drivers in all of the Coke series, received a 1 race suspension. And here's what the official release said. During race 9 at Kansas Speedway, driver Blake McCandless, number 8, was found to have intentionally caused a caution, violating sportsmanship and competition rules. Following a thorough review, he has received a 1 race suspension from the series and a 1-week suspension from all multiplayer sessions. So they suspended him not just in the Coke series, but for all racing on iRacing as well, which is the standard suspension if you were to do what Blake is being accused of and penalized for in the Coke series. I haven't talked too much to him in person, but I know that he's a good guy, but I want to judge this whole ordeal with as much of a neutral sort of point of view as possible. So I'm actually going to react to the incident for the first time on camera right now and give you my thoughts on it. So he's already loose. You can tell by his throttle, he's already loose here. Very, very loose. He's pedaling, little tap, and wheel. He immediately corrects to the right because he got tapped, but it's too much. Oh, it wasn't too much. He snap over correct because he wheeled it to the right so much off the tap. Hits the wall there, and then, okay, that's where the spin happened. I mean, he's full. Okay, so he hits the wall. So he's full right, he hits the wall, he's full left. He starts to spin again. And then he goes, like, you can see his wheel. Woo. Full right. I mean, I don't see much out of that. That's just trying to save a car, but let's see at the end here. Wait. And he goes in like, okay, this is something I'm confused about now. He's on the gas here. So he corrects to the right. He starts spinning to the right. He goes back to neutral on the wheel. I assume that's neutral at least. And then he full throttles. This is the part that I'm confused about, right? Because what's full throttle gonna do here? Because if he's trying to hook it back to the left, you would think that he would turn more to the left with the full throttle. But he has the wheel straight as he's pointed at the wall. And then turns back to the right and then brakes. So I'm totally with him up through here. I'm kind of double confused right now, right? Because the part that makes me think, okay, I kind of get what iRacing is seeing is this right here. But if Blake is correct in saying that iRacing did not review the telemetry or anything or the replay, then I don't think they would have seen this gas up with the wheel straight. And maybe that's just some sort of car saving technique in the next gen. I don't know. But like everything that you can see from just the broadcast view, I don't understand how that ends up as intentional. Now, if iRacing came out and said, and maybe they did look at the telemetry and say, hey, why are you turning right and gassing up when you're pointed at the wall sideways, right? But if they didn't, then I don't really understand iRacing's point of view here regardless. So I guess my official opinion on this is it seems harsh for what looks on the broadcast to be innocuous. I see some interesting stuff to me that I can't explain. I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I see stuff that I can't explain going on after the overcorrection, but leading into the overcorrection, I don't see anything. So I guess I guess I was going to be offended earlier, but now I'm more confused after watching this than I was before I watched this. I thought I was going to have a clear opinion after watching this, but I feel like I'm more confused coming out of it than I am going into it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, because this got a lot of feedback on Twitter. But rooting for Blake for the rest of the season regardless, and everyone in the comments below wish Mr. McCandless, aka Mr. 4Speed, a healthy and safe recovery from surgery from prostate cancer.
Breaking news, I'm literally about to post the video. I'm in a car in a parking lot, but the show must go on because Blake McCandless' appeal has been successful. Just like I thought that there didn't seem to be a ton of conclusive evidence in there, after appealing it seems like the board agrees. They say, while concerns remain, there is not enough conclusive evidence to confirm intent to cause the caution. So, especially without that telemetry data, I did not see conclusive evidence. I had some questions, but yeah, I would like to know what you guys think about this, because I think that some people would think that maybe because of Blake's status, it might have helped him with the visibility of this, but that's just a little bit of speculation from me. I would be curious to see if this sets a precedent with others in the future, though.
The final piece of news is a bit of a bummer. I'm not too happy about it, but it's been announced for a week or two now. It is the replacement and retiring of a lot of the old iRacing tracks from back in the 2008 era when they first launched. I love these tracks, especially the yellow Charlotte, the 2008 version, because it really had a different feel than the new Charlotte. The bumps in the track, the way that it drove, the corners felt a little bit different, even if it was just a resurfaced pavement. It really felt to me like a different track, and the way that Charlotte is a different track from another cookie cutter quad oval like Old Texas. So to have these legacy tracks be fully retired almost feels like they're taking away a full track for me, because I treated those tracks as if they were their own because they drove different to me. But the part about this that kind of bugs me the most is that replays are just going to be inaccessible at these tracks anymore. Like, that's a lot of history. Can you imagine how many pro races have been run on that legacy Charlotte Motor Speedway? And all of that, if people save their replays, that's just gone. And you can say, oh, well, you can upload the race and all of that, but you don't get that full picture that you get with that replay. That's the whole point of the replays. You can go in and you can see everyone's point of view, and you have all of that data, and it's more of a way to experience the race that you can't experience a real life race, and to slowly whittle away, especially at the historical type of tracks. To me, historical meaning iRacing history, because I'm one of the two people on earth that thinks that iRacing has a history worth documenting, I guess. But in any case, I just hope that not too much is being lost as these tracks go away, and I hope that it's not a trend to come where we're gonna just lose replays for everything that happened prior to 2020 or whatever eventually, just because we decide that we don't want the tracks anymore. All right, it's the day after. I already have everything sent out to my editor Kaleb, and a second cheating scandal has hit iRacing for the week, and we got to talk about it. This has to do with the most famous sim racing team in all of iRacing and all of sim racing, Team Redline, and one of the biggest events of the year, the Nürburgring 24. After locking out the front row in qualifying first and second, with their third car qualifying sixth, there was something weird that happened because they all started from the pits. Now, this had to be on purpose, but for what reason, we would soon find out, and iRacing was not too happy about it. It turns out that Team Redline found an exploit in the setup system where they could get an advantage on their competition by lowering their race ride height by entering the session with wet rain tires and a low fuel load, which would keep their car up in the air, while then setting up the car to then be at the minimum ride height for that set. Then, once they added fuel and put tires on the car, they would be at an advantage for the entire field. Because after seeing what was going on, iRacing quickly stepped in before they were even able to leave pit road and said, hey, if you guys do not leave this session and get disqualified from it, you will be subject to the iRacing sporting code, citing the parts of the sporting code that go against nefarious tactics, cheating, and all of that. And a lot of people agreed with iRacing, but there was also, I would say, a bit of a minority of people that thought that Team Redline should have been able to continue to compete on this exploited setup. And I understand that train of thought, and there is something to be said of the racer mentality of getting an advantage wherever you can, but I think that people who have this opinion don't know the history that iRacing has with events like this. iRacing has very little leeway historically when you exploit their game, their sim, something within their system, because it makes them look bad. If you win the race, not because you are the faster driver, but because you found something on the iRacing UI, UX, whatever side, that it looks bad, that reflects poorly onto iRacing, and they will squash that. If you find something while driving that is to your benefit, but it's within the confines of the sim, it's within how iRacing more or less intended the sim to be, they'll be a lot more lenient on that, especially if it's a little bit accidental. But at the same time, if you are taking advantage of something like their setup system, where if you do the right thing here or there, click a couple buttons, and then boom, you have access to something that no one else does, I don't see iRacing ever allowing that, however far back you go. And honestly, I'm a little surprised that Team Redline even tried this, because they should know how iRacing deals with these cheating scandals. Did they think they'd be able to finish out the race and then have to post a tweet longer or something after the race, and then that's it? Maybe, but I feel like with instances like this in the past, iRacing has come down pretty hard on them.
So let me know what you guys think down below about all of these issues. I know we covered a lot today, but there was a lot happening on iRacing Twitter. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.